guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. We are excited to introduce our co host, Sambaza, host and creator of the Sambaza podcast, and also a remarkable figure in the podcasting world. Hailing from the Republic of Kenya in East Africa, he has garnered 3 nominations for the Best African Diasporan Podcast by the African Podcast and Voice Awards, or the APVA. And in addition to this recognition, Sambaza was recently nominated for Best Blog by the Texas Creator Awards. Since 2023, he has been a featured presenter at the Afros and Audio Podcast Festival, and he participated at the 2025 Podfest with his wealth of knowledge and unique perspectives. Welcome, Sambaza.
Hey, Jen, I'm here another week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how's it going?
it's going great. Everything is going great. Blessed, as I can say every single day, and I'm happy for another week, another show. And like I said, we're here.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's glad to be with you guys for another week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And you just have us today. We do not have a guest, but we do have a great show planned on this episode. We will dive into some key takeaways from our last great episode, which featured the award winning director, Timmy Banks. And we will also acknowledge International Women's History Month. And we will reflect on some of the gems that she shared about storytelling, creativity, and the perseverance in the film industry, and some things that we took away from that episode. And perhaps you can share too if you're catching this live with us. And then also, we have an update on a current event matter that we want to share as well. So, Sambaza.
Hey, so Jen, you should add that part, rich auntie. Fun to you.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, we get there. Okay, got you. So, affirmation of the day, and here's our affirmation. It says, "Note to self: I am going to make you so proud." I'll repeat that again. Note to self: I am going to make you so proud. That's the affirmation for the day. Let's continue.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
I
that's
wasn't
great.
expecting that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So, yeah, continuing our affirmations and positive mental health behaviors. So you will hear us with these affirmations. So yeah, I'm glad we are continuing that. So last episode, we were grateful to have a great guest who was an award-winning director, Miss Timby Banks. And so, just some of her information, just to kind of recap. If you are not familiar, she is a Harlem native, a writer director. She is Emmy nominated for her work on Only Murderers in the Building, featuring Steve Martin and Martin Short. She has directed episodes of Insecure and most recently Netflix Running Point. And she also shared that she has upcoming projects on Netflix, Survival of the Thickest, and a film called Forever with Mara Braca Kill. She also won a 2025 NAACP Image Award for her first directorial debut, Young Wild Free, which is on BET Plus and super dope. Please check that out. And so, yeah, she was our guest, and she definitely opened up and shared some kind of behind the scenes information about being a filmmaker in this industry in Hollywood. And so we want to talk about some of those takeaways from that episode. Yeah, so any thoughts to share, and then I'll share mine.
First of all, that was a great guest that we had, and we really appreciate for her taking her time to come to our show. Um, she did give us some gems, and my takeaway was the fact that my first thing is I will like to give her props for the work that she's done. First of all, by representing us in that field, and also showing us what it takes to be the best. So she starts off with her lifestyle, and she tells us everything, and then where it gets to. It takes time. People want to get things quickly nowadays. In this era
Mhm.
of Snapchat and everything. Uh, she took her time, did what she needed to do, and where she is now is the time where she's reaping her benefits. The
Mhm.
second thing I also want to say is when she talks about what she does to give back, when she helps other girls
Mhm.
who want to be like her, she has taken the opportunity to go into looking out and assisting other girls to get into programs where she coaches them and teaches them how to become a director. And that is an awesome thing, because what is it to have your knowledge and keep it to yourself? Why not share it with others who are like you and give open up pathways? They may not get to where they may not, they may get to where you are, but somehow it may spark some to get even further than where you are. You're setting up a base and they'll always remember you. I think that's one of the things I two well part of the things that I liked about what she had said
Mhm.
on that conversation we had.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. There is a quote by, if I'm not mistaken, Muhammad Ali that
Mhm.
says, service is the rent we pay to be here on earth, basically. And so I, definitely adopt that and I try to live my life like that by giving back any opportunity that I can through a lot of organizations I participate in. Even me, even you, can give back in some type of way. And so it was refreshing to hear that even on her level, with all the awards, and she's achieved a lot to be a young person in this industry and to be a leader and powerhouse. Like she said, sometimes they mistake her for just someone, in the shuffle, and she's actually running the production. To be humble enough to have a conversation with the guy preparing your snack or what have you.
And I think it's that being humble is also at some point in life you get to a stage where you feel you have achieved and you're
Hmm.
comfortable with yourself. Nothing else matters. I think she's gotten to that level where nothing else matters and she knows what she stands on. Like, what did they say? She stands on business. So so you don't have to go out and say, hey, I am this. No, 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 no. I came, I did my job. Now, if you fail to
Okay.
recognize, you're gonna recognize one of these fine days, like the way the guy did. So I think that's the point where she's gotten to. And for me, I say if you get to that point, oh, you'll be the happiest person on earth. That's one happy place.
That's pretty cool. I think your kids would get a crack out of you saying stand on business.
Hey, hey.
Like, what did Daddy just say? Hilarious.
You gotta know when to throw
Hilarious.
this lingo in here. Oh, by the
I
way,
see.
Ed has a question. He says, what would you say the purpose of affirmations? Well, Ed, for me, affirmations will be a way of. By the way, as you say, is peace and gratitude. Thank you so much, Ed. You always come to the show and challenge us with questions. And when you talk about affirmations are the things that we look at to kind of reinforce what we need to do in our lives. I mean, sticky notes on your mirror in the morning when you see your affirmations could be one way of telling yourself before you get out that, hey, this is what I'm looking for today. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you don't feel like you want to go anywhere or do much. But with an affirmation standing right in front of you, or just reading an affirmation or listening to an affirmation, it kind of gives you that mental urge, or makes you feel like you have a champion in yourself, or somebody. It's like an inner voice that is telling you, hey, you know what, we can do this, we can do this, even though you're tired, we can do this. So that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of something that Miss Jessie Holly shared with us, is that sometimes you have to remind yourself who you are, who the F you are, I think she said, and hype yourself up, you know what I
Right.
mean? And yeah, sometimes you have to push yourself to do that. But yeah, you are worthy. You should be proud, So I think that is definitely not for nothing.
And most people don't. Uh, I- It's like you going to church and getting the Bible verses. If you don't see those Bible verses and don't know what they mean, and you stayed for a long time, you tend to not have any idea or have any feel to it. But if you know what they are and you kind of get behind it and you believe in them, they push you forward. It's like a nourishment. Yeah, it's a nourishment.
Absolutely. Totally. And any I know I have an answer for this, but I'll let you do you want to go to the comments?
Say thank you, brother, for your response. Keep standing on business.
You're so
All right, I
sweet.
will. Thank you. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, for sure. And so we talked about some oh, another thing that I want to share as far as
Mhm.
takeaways is that, I think you asked something like, what are something that people if people really want to do this, and she said that, you have to totally commit, that there is no backup plan, like you have to totally change your life, whether that means moving cities, enrolling in film student, picking up a camera, start shooting, whatever that looks like for you, you need to totally commit to it. If you want to be a writer, you need to be writing every day. So that was kind of deep to hear that from someone who actually did, say, hey, I want to be a filmmaker. I'm gonna find my way and get into film school and make this thing happen. So
I think it's you want to have like a one track mind when you're doing such things. Especially, it's like football. You want to play football,
mhm,
you have to invest. You want to swim, you have to invest in swimming. Put everything. Think, swim, drive, swim. Eat, sleep, swim.
mhm,
Just like the rappers. You see these rappers when they go around, they have their not notebooks and they have everything. They've been in the train sitting somewhere. You see them just sitting there, so vibing, throwing rhymes here and there. But it's practice. You believe in
mhm,
it, and if you
mhm,
keep believing it, you will get your your success. Because I don't think I don't think you can ever do something and not to reap any benefits unless something drastic happens to you. But as long as you do it and you keep at it, maintain it, and you do it the right way, you're
mhm.
definitely going to make it.
Yeah, for sure. I think everything you do is a learning opportunity. We've one of our friends that is very successful and has a lot of awards, likes to share a story of, being a Uber driver and just hustling and grinding, and having to do that for a period of time until he was able to elevate. And like we talked about on that Crate Digger episode, it's about elevating. You're here, maybe next year you'll be there, maybe the following year you'll be there, so constantly moving forward in some way is kind of a way of self development, and pushing yourself forward, which again can push the culture forward as well too. So
Yeah. And can I add in something which I'm doing this month? I don't know if you've noticed or people have noticed this. I've been doing a challenge for the month of March, and it's been going on for a while. I never listen. This is a habit that I've done. I've never listened to people's podcasts. I'm here to say that, and it's not something that I'm proud of. But I talk about podcasts, but I never listen to their podcasts. So this month, I said for 30 days, I'm going to listen to at least one podcast a day, and I'll review the podcast. What I've done so far in the last 16, I think I'm on 16 podcasts right now. With all the 16 podcasts, I have learned something out of the podcast. And I'm making myself intentional because these are podcasters from Africa, right? And
okay.
I still intend to do, wait. That's the first one. Remember, there's still the one I still have. This is the project for the year. I still have done that part. Now, the one that we did, like we gathered a group of African American podcasters in the Podfest, that's my next project. So once I finish that up, that's what I'm going into next and trying to bring them together and then try to talk to them about their podcast. Whoever agrees to come on, we'll have a conversation. So you see, I'm being intentional. Was I doing this 3 or 4 years ago? No. Am I
Right.
getting more traction? I think so because some of the people I meet, I'm like, wait a minute, I met you. I mean, you go and see it. It has it's taken its own journey and its own path about it right now, and I'm really enjoying it. Even though it's hard work, but I'm enjoying it. So you have to be intentional and just keep working at it. Right now, I feel I'm comfortable in the industry that to be able to talk and I have a voice.
Mhm.
Man, you told me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, which let me add this. This is the final thing. I'm writing a blog. It's gonna come out in May. Catch this one. It's gonna be about thinking outside the box,
Mhm.
and it's about podcasting and how we think outside the box, or how we should think outside the box. So be on the lookout for 1st of May, because my blogs don't run by weekly or weekly. It's just once a month. So in May there's one already scheduled, and then go ahead and listen to it and see what we talk about outside the box. And yeah, that's it. Let's continue.
Okay, here's a quick follow up question. With this challenge that you're doing, and I saw these posts and I said, okay, what is this? What are you doing? And I figured it out. Have any of the podcasters from these podcasts that you've been picking up reached out or noticed that you've been sharing and posting?
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
okay, let me put it. I'll give you a few that I found out so far, and we haven't even gotten to 30. Each one of them has actually come back, and one has offered me a blog post to read, and I've read it.
Mhm.
There's one who this they had talked to Talib, and Talib said, "Hey, I want you to meet this guy." Then we talked over email. We introduced us over email. Then we started talking. I didn't realize it was him. Then I reviewed his podcast. Then when I was, wait a minute, I think I was sent to see you. We were supposed to be chatting. Then we found out we were
Mhm.
supposed to be chatting, and I was like, oh,
Mhm.
here we go. We are now in this circle of friendship.
Mhm.
Another one that I'm about to review in the next couple of days, right? So I listened to their podcast. It says it's 50 things that define Zambia. Did the podcast, finished the podcast. Then when I went and looked at it, at some point I'm seeing, wait, assorted immigrant stories. Guess who does that? Zenith Hamamba, who is also from Zambia. You
Okay.
know Zenith. We did
Oh,
the
okay.
thingy. Yes, yes. So she had actually interviewed the guy, and I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, it's the same guy. So we chatted on the side about this thing. So there's been a lot going on and a lot of interactions, and I'm happy that I'm doing it, and
Absolutely.
I think I'll get the same thing. Good things are coming. Good things are coming.
Oh yeah, and you definitely should tag these people, that you're posting about. It could possibly lead to a guest opportunity, over on your podcast, or if you feel like they would be, a fit over here, we could do that as well.
Certainly, certainly. I'm open to
Mhm.
anything that we can do. Have these conversations, and it opens you up to a lot. And I think if everyone is to listen to my reviews, I do weekly updates of what I've done for the last seven days. If you just look at that and then go back and look at the individual ones, it will kind of explain a lot about the podcast, and you will probably want to look at more into
Shoot.
what's going on. And there's also a blog post that I'm going to do about it. I keep updating it every week, and
Mhm.
just something to do. I guess it's a major project. as much
It
as
is
as
a
much as I thought it was going to
project.
be just as one, just it turned out to be a bit more. But yeah, that's my my my
So
March
this is
challenge.
every week, right? Or is it every
Yes,
day?
every day I listen to one podcast, and then I review it, and then I post what I reviewed
Okay.
the day after.
Okay. Yeah, but be sure
Yeah.
to tag the people. That could lead
I'm
to
tagging them.
something.
I'm tagging them.
Okay,
Hey, I'm
cool.
tagging them. And at first, I was just talking about the podcast, but if you notice, once I finish, I speak to the person. I tell them, hey, so and so, I love your podcast. This is what I think about your podcast. Nothing negative. If they haven't created any podcasts, I'll be like, hey, please create some more podcasts so we can see what we can do. Who knows? So I'm making that urging them if they've stopped, and if there's something that's unique about the podcast, I'll mention it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And so next we have the African proverb that
Oh yes,
Sambaza.
our proverb for the week. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. it's gonna come from Zambia, right? That's because I've been focusing on Zambia podcast this week. So the Zambian proverb says, "A cow does not find its own horns heavy." This is a Lozi proverb. Um, what do you think about it? How would you
O-
interpret it?
Okay, say that again.
Okay, I went ahead. So we're discussing about Zambia. Let's before we get
Okay.
through all that, cool things about Zambia. Zambia was named after the fourth longest river in Africa, the Zambezi River, which is a major source of water and uh, wildlife. Right? Uh, Zambia is landlocked, meaning that it doesn't have direct access to the ocean. There's a falls called Victoria Falls, also known as Mosiatunya. That's what people are now calling it. They stopped calling it Victoria Falls because white people are naming it, and they already had their names. So it's the reason why it's called Mosiatunya is the smoke that thunders from the river. Um, they also have the world's largest man-made lake by surface area. It's called Lake Kariba, and this was done by creating or damming the Zambezi River, so that wildlife can go there and part of the recreation. And that's about it. Oh, one last thing: the human skeleton remains dating back over 100,000 years have been found in the region that is now Zambia, suggesting that the area has been inhabited for a very, very long time. See, our ancestors were there. Now, for the proverb, Jen, this is what it says: a cow does not find its horns heavy. It's a
Okay, I
lousy
get it.
proverb.
Okay.
Okay. What do you, how do you, how do you, you say,
So it makes me think about, and I think this is like unrelated, but it makes me think about that other saying, I guess it's like an American saying, like
please,
heavy is
yeah.
the head that wears the crown or something like that. But in this instance, it's saying that, you're wearing your horns, which are obviously heavy, is not heavy to the cow because it's in his nature. It's what he's born to do. And so, bam.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean,
Okay.
it's just like you're black excellence, right? I'm going to exude my black excellence because I'm black, right? And that's my color, right?
Okay. Okay. I receive that. I
There we go.
receive that.
All
And
right, all right, all
so,
right.
okay, thank you for sharing the proverb.
Oh, you're
Sambaza
welcome.
has been sharing an African proverb lately, because Black history and our history is not just for the month of February, it's 365. So we would continue to share all of these things
By
throughout
the way,
the.
do you even put this? By the way, do you even put these in the show notes? We need to be putting them in the show notes.
Do you want to?
We
You
should.
know, okay, we can. We certainly
You know what
can.
I realized? Do you ever? By the way, when you listen to audio podcasts, do you look at the show notes?
Yeah.
You do?
If
Yeah,
I'm
even me.
pulling
I
it
just
up on
realized
like
that.
Apple, yeah, I will.
Yeah, there's some interesting conversation. So I think yeah, we should start putting these proverbs, because there's some people who want to listen and be like, oh, okay, what does this proverb say?
Yeah, so we'll have to do some
Right.
note scraps
I'll
on the
I'll send
background.
them over.
Yeah, so we can be sure to add that in. I'm actually getting caught. I'm trying to be quicker about getting the audio up. So I think we're up to our last episode is the only one that's not up. So we're in good order. You just gotta get them up on your side for those who want to check it out on the Sambaza podcast, which is available on all streaming platforms.
Oh, thank you. I will. I will. I will. I think. Oh, will. Wow. Okay.
You say you will. Okay, so in addition to our takeaways, our proverb, we also want to acknowledge International Women's History Month. And so Sambaza will share some information about the origins of such.
Okay. So, International Women's History Month appreciation is what we are on this time. So, International Women's History Month traces its origins to International Women's Day, which was first observed in 1911 as a movement for women's rights and labor equality. In the United States, the push to recognize women's contributions gained momentum in the late 1970s. In 1978, the Education Task Force of the Sonoma County Commission on the Status of Women in California launched Women's History Week to coincide with International Women's Day on March the 8th. The movement grew, and in 1980, President Jimmy Carter issued a proclamation declaring the first National Women's History Week. By 1987, after advocacy from the National Women's History Project, Congress officially designated March as the Women's History Month to honor the achievements and the contributions of women throughout history. So today, Women's History Month is celebrated globally and recognizing the vital women that have played in shaping societies, industries, and cultural movements. So this has
Yes.
been going on for a long time all over the world. Wow.
Absolutely. So that's, good to know our origins of that. In acknowledgement, we were definitely glad to bring you that great episode last week, featuring a phenomenal woman in the industry, in media, in Hollywood that is definitely a trailblazer. But I have a women's history fact to share in continuation of our acknowledgement. And so my pick is Mary McLeod Bethune, who was a pioneering educator, a civil rights leader, and advocate for Black women's rights. She founded the Daytona Educational and Industrial School for Negro Girls in 1904, and this later became Bethune Cookman University, which you may recall hearing is HBCU, one of the first institutions for higher education for Black students. Bethune was a key advisor to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, serving as the highest ranking Black woman in the government at that time, which was a huge deal if you think about the time period of when that was going on. She also founded the National Council of Negro Women, NCNW, which is an organization today. And you may want to, if you are a lady, you may want to find your local chapter and find out about how to be a member.
Okay,
um,
that's the first time I'm hearing something like that.
Really? Yeah, actually, my
Yeah.
sister's a member of
Oh,
NCNW in my town. I'm not a member, but I am a top lady of distinction, which, works closely with NCNW. And maybe one day soon I will be a member of NCNW. But yeah, definitely very prominent organization. They do great work. But anyway, she founded it back in 1935 to uplift and empower Black women. Through her activism, she fought for racial and gender equality, voting rights, educational access, and her legacy continues to inspire us all. She's actually been commemorated on a U.S. postal stamp. Like you said, Bethune Cookman is a prominent HBCU. And what made me think about her is when we had that conversation with Sir Irvin, he mentioned her name. I don't know if you remember that.
that's why I was like, wait a minute, was it by
Yeah,
coincidence?
and so I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring that up because she really, and like some of her speeches are out there online.
Hmm.
We won't play material that we don't own, but yeah, she is, a powerhouse in her own right for sure, and her legacy is incredible. So, but when he mentioned her name, and in that instance, saying that Mary McLeod Bethune went through this when we were talking about how some men may be challenged by women in leadership and women in power and things like that. And her name came up. So, and if you don't know if we're talking about it, please refer back to the episode with Sir Irvin Williams the third, who was on this show very recently. So,
You know,
yeah,
she was also the sole African American woman officially a part of the U.S. delegation that created the United Nations Charter.
yes,
Okay, and then
yes, huge.
she was also deemed First Lady of Negro America by Ebony Magazine in July 1949.
Yeah, and another cool thing is in Tyler Perry's movie about the 6888,
Hmm.
she's actually a part of it. The conversation she has with the president about these black women, and actually was like she was like part of the conversation and the idea
Spoiler
for the
alert.
what is actually in the history, or it should be in history books.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
they show her having a conversation, let's just put it that way,
Okay.
in the
Okay.
movie, which is, a big part of the story. So,
Yeah. Okay.
so no, I thought that was cool. But yeah, him bringing her up, I just said, yeah, let's talk about that. So,
Said she appears on the movie at some point.
and it is a
That's how-
history piece, so it's not like it's
Look,
action.
some people like us haven't watched it, and I think
It's
one
a
thing I would
historical piece, though.
right. I would urge anyone who's listened to this to go and take a look at it. Google is your friend, and I mean that in a good way. And also YouTube. Check out these channels because they do have information about the person. Just
Hmm.
that's one more extra person you might learn, and it might teach you something. And just carry on with that. And that's all we ask.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, it's always something that you can learn for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just
So,
like what I do. Like whenever something happens in the world, like take for example, um, like when Ukraine and Russia started fighting, right? I'm just
hmm
putting this out there. I go and listen, go into history books, Google, look at everything that is there, try to find out what's going on by yourself. YouTube, Google, everything, it'll tell you. Palestine, Israel. Did my own research, mine personally. So I have my own opinions by what I got from the internet and what I have and what I see. So you derive an understanding and learn more things about somebody. Like the other day, the president talked about Lesotho.
hmm
How many people Lesotho went to look to find out what Lesotho is? It's there. It's a country. Now, this is
right.
your chance. You heard it. Go Google it. Go see it. Get to know a little bit about the country. You don't need to know much more about the country. Just that bit is good enough. And you're learning.
Hmm. For sure,
It could be your
definitely.
next bucket list. It could be next on your bucket list. I'm not going to
No,
say what happens over there, but let's just leave it
okay, for sure. So,
at
good reminder
that.
that stay informed of all these
Yes,
matters. It does impact us. You may think it doesn't, but it does, for
right.
sure. So,
And
we
history
want
lessons.
yes. So we will pivot to our last subject or topic. We want to bring you an update. On a few episodes back, we talked about what was going on with DEI and tariffs and such, after the president made communicated his stance on what he feels is appropriate and not appropriate with DEI.
So, Jen, just say administration. This administration. You don't have to say the president. Just say this administration. This.
Well, the president, your president, shared this, and tell everyone what DEI is if they may. Well, what is DEI?
Is it diversity, empowerment, and inclusion? That's
No.
it, right?
Diversity, equity, and
Equity, right?
yes.
D-
So,
d-
yeah, there's some changes and some organizations and corporations, in response to the president made some stances, one being Target, and in response to that, a lot of people decided to do a boycott of Target in response to their stance and decision to move away from diversity, and what is the rollback, right? I think that was the term.
It was started by somebody somewhere up north, and he's not trying to force it on himself. He's just
Hmm.
creating it as a group. It's not a party. It's just an initiative, and that's just how it is. It's nothing like the way people come in and want to create like a tea party or something. Like, no, 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 no. This is
Mhm.
just something that somebody decided. This is what I want to do, and this is what we're going to do in order to force some change or maybe get recognized. Now, why are they hitting Target? And Target has been, my opinion, man. Yeah, leave Target alone, please. Target
Um,
people been doing Target
excuse you.
bad. Look,
Excuse you.
isn't Target the people? Target is the one that was bringing putting out stuff that was LBGTQ to everyone who can you want. They put it out there. Then people gave them a backlash. Then they said, okay, you know what? This is what you want. We're gonna keep step back. They did that. Then they were doing the DEI. Then now you're told to get off of the. They got off. Now why are you hitting on Target? Target ain't got nothing.
Because that's why. Because they, in spite of everything, felt a need to make this stance saying, hey, the president made this stance. Well, we're going to make it, widely known that we're rolling back on this diversity. Yeah, we had all these special T-shirts and all these little, with cute phrases and little slogans on it. And now, in special deals with certain, companies, and in spite of all of that, we're going to roll back. So, I mean, I'm not really going to, I did try to support this boycott because I feel like we need to be mindful of where we want to spend our dollars,
Mhm.
especially corporations that don't have us in mind. We may want to think about that. I need to curb my spending anyway. So I was all for it for that reason. But so anyway, the update is that we wanted to show like what this financially the impact was to Target because this was literally it's only March. President got in there, January 20th. This, he made his comments. This was February. So literally we're talking about like a month and a half of impact. So you want to share those figures?
Yeah, sure. Target reported fourth quarter net sales declined by 3%. Now, you guys are looking at 3%. Now, when 3% amounts into dollars, that's a lot of money. And
Yes.
then they warned that February top line performance was soft after the civil rights leaders called the Target boycott on Black History Month for changing their positions on DEI, followed a sharp drop in traffic to Target stores and website during the February 28th economic blackout. I think this was a lot. I ended up in Walmart. I think
Mm-hmm.
Walmart was one of the places that was targeted. No, it was a blackout for every place, right?
Yes.
And I did go to Walmart. I must say I was really one of the ones that sprinkled that place because
Mm-hmm.
there was none of us, and not even us. I'm talking about even other people. Walmart was empty, and usually at that
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
time it was in the evening about 8 o'clock. I usually find the Walmart full, but it wasn't. But they had said you only go and pick up necessities. So Target, okay, greeted 11%. Sorry, not 100. 11% fewer customers
Mm-hmm.
on the People's Union USA February 28th economic blackout as compared to the average daily visits per previous Fridays, 5 Fridays, according to the location statistics. Woo,
Mm-hmm.
this is a lot. The website itself on February 28th, they say the traffic dropped as well as down to 9% on that particular day.
Mm-hmm.
So, while a Numerator survey among 1,300 consumers found that 16% of Americans plan to participate in the day long national shopping boycott, Target was particularly hard hit as Placer.ai found Best Buy visits rose 1%, Starbucks was up 2%, and McDonald's saw an 8% uptick.
Hmm.
Wonder why.
Interesting.
Why did McDonald's get a whatever? But Jen, while we're talking about this, I don't know if it's more economics, right? The
Mm-hmm.
economic boycotts. We're also noticing, you notice the stock exchanges also had took a hit on that was last week on Monday and Tuesday. But this is my opinion. My opinions are based on me and not anybody else's, and don't represent anyone. However, when you get to see the stock exchange go down on 2 days in a row, you know, there are people who are able to. Some of those people who are shouting and yelling over there and one side and the other side,
Mhm.
they have insider information as to how the
Mhm.
stock prices are going to go down the next day. And they can place bets or puts on some of those stocks way in advance. So when the stock is high up on Friday and then comes down on the next day, they probably made millions and billions of dollars, right? So
Mhm.
my question is, as they were screaming and shouting on both sides, who was paid? How much did they make, or how much pretty were they sitting? Because we
Mhm.
know for a fact they usually have an upper hand in stocks, and
Right.
that's kind of where they get some leeway on it. And you question yourself, 2 days in a row, and
Mhm.
it goes down. Now it's picking back up. This week it's starting to pick up. And another thing is Tesla. Tesla was doing great. Then suddenly it goes down because a part of the team or the management of Tesla is actually in the government trying to do
Yeah.
some things in the government that people are not happy about. And once they got into that, the stock went down, and people are saying, "Okay, let's show it. Let's show how it's gonna go." And I think shareholders in that company had to have a Jesus moment with their chairman or their boss and tell them, "Hey, you know what? We're shareholders. We need to make some money." And that's what
Mhm.
shareholders. That's the reason why they put money in there. And I think that made them realize that, hey, some things are not as cut dry as black and white as you might see it. So we're watching for more things coming up.
Definitely. And it's early. It's really
We
early.
haven't reached
And a
the
lot has went
eight
down. We haven't even got into the like the
hundred.
Department of Education conversation.
Oh yeah,
Oh my God, don't even get me started. So it's just a lot of things like hey, guys, read the paper, read the news. It's a lot of things coming down that we need to be aware of for
and
sure.
Jen, this is what I tell people. Okay, and I'm not I'm not being paid. I'm not being sponsored by Tangle, right? I wish they could sponsor me. Hey, Tangle, if you want to sponsor, because I've been putting your name out there all the time. So if you can sponsor me, send me a T-shirt, I'll wear it, or sponsor this show. We'll be glad to do it. We'll be glad to put you on here. But this newsletter
Mhm.
always does not pick sides. It's always going to be right in the middle. If you read it, it'll always get on both sides. It'll give you a 50-50 um, it'll give you a 50-50 tale on everything that's going on. In fact, the guy says, I hate the politicians.
Mhm.
But if Trump is doing something good, or uh, President Trump is doing something good, he'll put it on and say, okay, this administration is doing something good on this side, whereas the previous whatever could have done this. So it gives you a level ground when you read it, and it's my go-to newsletter every
And what's
Friday.
the name of it again?
It's called Tangle, Tangle. It's a free newsletter. You can go online and get it, but there's a paid subscription too. You can pay, and that'll give you Saturday. There's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that he puts out. But there's something on Thursday that he puts out that is special on which kind of it has a story, but it's a balanced story. And what I will say is, they do their research, and if they're wrong, they'll put the wrong. Some people will go put the correction right down at the bottom of the page
Mhm.
and say, "Oh, corrections." No, this guy will put it on the first letter. When you open a page, when you want to read everything, that's the first correction. This is what we said, and this is what is wrong, and we agree this is what is wrong. So they are intentional in doing everything that is right, and that's why I trust them. In my perspective, as being a great tool to stay
Okay.
focused. Yeah.
And you mentioned the paid version. You do see the benefits of the paid version versus the unpaid.
I haven't gotten the paid version. I'm a free guy,
Oh,
so I
okay.
get the free stuff. But
you
but the free
you
stuff has a lot of information. But when you
okay.
read it, like I read about the tariffs, it gives me both the tariffs, how it will work, how it can
Mhm.
work, and how it will go this way. if the tariffs are good, if the tariffs are bad, all that. It gives you, so at the end of reading that, it tells you, you have an idea. Now it's you to decide which side am I taking. I mean, if you want to stick on one side, that's fine. If you want to go whichever
Okay.
side you want to stick on, that's you. But he's given you all to think about, good or bad.
Okay, I'm definitely going
Yeah,
to check out this tango. You have mentioned it on more than one occasion, and at this point, I think you deserve at least a subscription to the paid version, if
we'll
nothing
tag you.
else. So yeah, definitely noted. Okay, for
You see,
sure. So
Jen, you notice today I'm wearing Lipson. I always
I
wear it. Yeah, Lipson.
said,
Hey, so this is what I do. If you have a shirt, if somebody give me a shirt, I'll wear it, and we'll
mhm.
advertise for you.
And actually, we use our Woke by Accident uses Lispin, so we are Lispin fans over here.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, Lispin, Anthony.
Hey, so
Um,
you want to go to the chats?
yeah. Okay, let's do it.
All right. So with our chats, we have Denise on the healing session. Heal, empower, healing session. Heal, empower, and release. Welcome to the show. And about the wallet, Anthony. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This time you made it on time. Before it used to be when we were about to close out, and he was missing out on the engagement. But thank you for showing up. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. And guys, check out about the wallet. If you are not
Oh yeah.
familiar, please check it out, guys.
And he's been on our show too, and we chopped it up about money matters. That was really
Yes,
great. Yeah.
absolutely.
So Jen, what's coming in this month? Do you have any plans
As
with
far
regard to
as
what we have, our
the show,
shows,
yeah,
selection of
so
our
we do
shows?
have a great guest coming up next week, which actually be on a Monday instead of Wednesday. So follow us if you're subscribing, you'll get the notification.
Oh,
It
you know what's on Monday, right?
is on Monday.
You know what's on Monday?
No,
It's St.
oh,
Patrick's Day.
you know what? I was like, don't say, don't say St.
Hey,
Patty's Day.
yeah,
It was
that's
funny,
Monday.
and we try not to mention dates because we are trying to be evergreen around here. But since you mentioned dates, Friday is 314 day, so I had to represent St. Louis.
What's
Eh,
it's 314 area code.
314 day on Friday.
Wait. So it's three. Okay, okay. So that's the area code, right?
Pi Day. Pi Day. Actually, there's like some significance to Pi, and then other cities have like adopted their area code. But I think there is some special significance to St. Louis
Oh, you meant
adopting the
3.14.
314. Yeah, it is an area code, significant area code in what
Look, Anthony, yeah, I be messing that evergreen stuff sometime, hey. But sometime, it's good to
we
celebrate
talking
the
about
whatever.
it's Thursday, and it's like, dude, we don't mention the dates.
It's the
That
content.
is my personal advice from Mandy that I receive
We-
out of
I
her
think
mouth.
I think I think we should have one day. We should have a conversation about this evergreen versus versus timely. And it'd probably be a great conversation to have about whether to you come in with why we need to have evergreen, or not why we need to, or what's what's the
You
benefits
know what?
of
I think
having
we
evergreen.
talked about that when we had the conversation with Billy. That came up about evergreen content, and when we were
Right.
having that conversation about brand deals, which is so important. And, we're trying to adopt some of those lessons
Yeah.
about and Anthony shared something about that too.
Right.
But I think, and it's interesting, we're kind of pivoting to brand deals just because we got a little time and we got some folks watching, but we've been talking about branding. Actually, we're going to talk about monetization on the next couple of episodes. We have one in April with a creative that is, really killing it out here on an independent level with monetization and kind of thinking outside the box, which is what we have to do sometimes. But it's money out here, clearly, we just saw a reel today that talks about how an independent creator is,
Making some good money.
almost making 20 racks a
Not
month.
almost. It is. Well, almost. It was
Look, I
almost.
ain't trying to
It was
be in
about
nobody.
19K.
Look, I ain't trying to be in nobody's pocket, but he did share.
It's
you know,
public knowledge. It's out there. You can even
we
say
not
the
gonna
name.
name no names. I'm just saying
Why are you not going to say the name?
it's money to be. But no, that was my point. So we talking about brands, and we'll say, well, I ain't gonna say the brand name because I ain't getting paid. But
But you can say the. But you
But
can
you
say the.
should say the brand's name because that might get you paid. Just like Billy told us, give it to them for free and then let them see the impact. Like, wait a minute, what did Sambaza say? He talked about, and that may lead to Lispin giving you a free membership subscription, or Tango giving you the subscription to the paid version, or Anthony may give you a free session, you never know.
Okay. Now that you mentioned Anthony's name on here, can you mention who that podcaster is that is killing it? Because it's out there.
No, you're missing the point.
I know what you're talking about. I know
You're
you're talking about.
missing the point. You're missing the point. Anthony, he's missing the point. Look, yeah, you never know. And I mean, I won a free book tuning into Anthony's content, and he look you
He gave away a free cup, by the way.
legitimately sent me a free book that had to be probably a $25-$30 book for participating. So your time, spent here and there is valuable. You know what I mean? And you never know what opportunities, he felt it was worth it for the engagement of people in that at that time, and he facilitated an opportunity for someone to win a book. I happen to legitimately and organically win the book, and so that's
Look,
cool, and look,
you
Anthony, I'll
got it.
be reaching out because I need
Look,
help.
look, look,
I
look.
really need help. I
Anthony be
really
giving
need
some
help.
stuff. He gave a cup. He gave a cup away at the Afros and audio. He
Did
did. Yeah, he did. Remember?
oh,
Yeah, books are great gifts.
look,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
we sponsored, supported a young lady who was a guest and made a contribution of a ticket purchase to her online conference. Shout out to
Speaking of
Khadija.
which, speaking of which, Irvin is also doing something. He sent some information there. We need to promote his show. It's a ticket, $22
Yes.
for the tickets. You can purchase a ticket for from him, and then he will it will be donated. We'll put it on the show notes.
Yeah, and I'm actually going in person because
Hey.
his show is this
Oh, he's coming to you.
Sunday.
Oh, he's coming to you.
He'll be
Oh,
coming
oh,
here
okay.
to St.
Yeah. All
Louis.
right, all right.
So I am going, and I'll be like in the house. I don't even try to be outside like that, but I got to go for Sir Irvin. So I'm gonna be out there for Sir Irvin. And looking forward to that. It's gonna be super dope.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's a project on Amazon UK, or yeah, I saw a post about that.
Yes.
So yes, so we'll have to share that too. I try to support everybody. I try to share at the very least a like, a share. Telling somebody, referring, sending it to someone else doesn't cost you anything if you're not able to financially spread it around like that. Then at the very least, a like, a share does the world.
You know what, Jen? I think the people who come through our show, once they pass through our show, they be getting a whole lot of good luck. See, about the wallet, he probably is making some money.
Yeah,
I've seen him out
look.
there. He look like he be
And
paid.
you know what? Who
Yeah.
says this? And shout out to Trillion because this is one of her sayings. If it's you now, I'm me next. Me next. So passing, paying it forward, as
Listen.
you
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
for sure. If it's you now, it's me next, and just having that mindset. Shout out to Trillion.
I mean,
So yeah,
we've had awesome guests, Jen. If you look at the amount of guests that we've had and the gems that we've had, it's been great. I mean, loved it always, always. And like, see,
thanks,
he just gave us a like.
Anthony.
And so
Thanks.
this is what we talk about. We get the guests, they come back, and we have this community. And I think we're growing organically in this collaboration that we have. Um, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and yep, Denise is also here. Actually, Denise has been teaching us a lot. As she
Oh
says,
my
y'all are
God.
great. Yeah,
Shout out to Denise Moore, who is a licensed mental health counselor, and she has shared her talents with us on more than two
imagine.
occasions. And she could be somewhere booked and busy and charging people because she is licensed. Okay. And but she has shared and given herself, and we appreciate that. We appreciate everyone who's shared their talents and time. We definitely don't take it lightly, and we support everybody. So
Amen. Amen. All right,
for
Jen.
sure.
I think with that, I want us to say it was a great day,
Mhm.
and I'm looking forward to next week. Um, we hold
Oh, we didn't
prayers that
say who it
everything.
was.
Who and what?
Oh, did you want to share the guest that we it's actually out there on the
No, but nobody knows it. We'll just say on this,
well, we
just show up on St. Patrick's Day, and we'll, since I've already blown up that one,
okay.
show up on St. Patrick's Day. Just get your Guinness and your stuff, your hat. I'll be dressed for the occasion,
Uh-oh.
and yes, we'll be here and enjoying it. If we're not going to be out that particular day, but we're going to be here to enjoy. And let's say let's hope for a great week. Um, and pray for everything good out there.
For sure. So, with that, we will go ahead and get ready to say our final words. We thank you for joining us. Woke by Accident, Sambaza collaboration. We hope that you found today's conversation inspiring and enlightening. And if you do, please consider sharing with friends, family. And if you made it this far in the episode, like, subscribe. Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. So, with that, um, with that, we will. Any final words?
I'm not going to say anything. Say good night, guys.
Okay. Well, with that, we thank you guys again and take care. Woo! I'm burning up.
Why didn't you
Just
want to
sealing
say
in.
Lloyd George?
Did he take that post down?
No, it didn't. It's still there.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't sure.
I told you it was
Because
still there.
that link was broken, though.
Maybe I don't know, but when I went to his page, I saw it there.
Well, he said he was willing to be a guest on the show, but it's just kind
That's
of
what I
personal.
told him. I sent a word after on that, and I said, hey, something, because he said we can do something, so we need to bring him on the show.
He's the one that has that calendar, though, right?
I don't know.
I thought. And he, like,
He's
his.
he's from Zimbabwe.
He
He's a
didn't live
diaspora.
there, though.
No, he was born here. I think
Yeah,
parents are
yeah,
Zimbabwe.
yeah. But no, he's so positive and nice, but I just it was kind of personal, so I just didn't want to be putting it all out there.
Why do you feel it's personal? The guy already said he
I
already put it out
know.
there and said he earns 19K.
Look, Mark be talking about, yeah, I make 100 grand. He
Six
say this
figures.
shit every day.
He
I'm a
said six
hundred,
figures.
a hundred. Yeah, he say it every single time. I'm like, damn, okay. And then what's crazy is that not only he make 100 grand, but he pay Ashley, Dr. Who else worked for him? Nick. All them get paid from him. Yeah, they work on his show. They edit the show for pay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he said that like not just this
I
show,
remember.
but his
I
other
remember.
clients.
Right.
He basically filters it out. He gives Dr. whichever ones to work on for pay. Ashley works on this show and whatever else for pay. Like they're literally his workers. Because
And
sometimes
what
he'll be
about
like, Ashley, fix this in post. Like, you know what I mean? Post
wow.
production. Like, yeah, he don't play about his
That's why it
coins.
comes out so quick, right after the whatever.
Yeah, she probably started working on it because he probably gave her as a deadline like this shit need to be done by 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's what's up. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you had time, you could be like, look, give me a job. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be one of your editors. So he probably would freaking hire you, dude.
No, not me. No,
But you probably don't have time, right?
no. I need to get. I need to. Hey,
But
since
if
it's
you
September,
did, you could be
yeah.
doing that in the evening. You probably have to stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning every
Okay.
night.
I, I,
Look, I be staying up to 1 o'clock in the morning selling sometimes. That's why I don't do it every night because I can't. But every once in a while, I stay up to midnight,
when I
one
leave you
o'clock
here
in the
right now,
morning.
I go sit in the bed. I go edit my videos. Those B rolls.
Yeah.
I'm becoming good in doing those B rolls.
Look,
Actually,
it's about hustling, dude. Like when he said the 19,000, I was like,
look. Let me tell you. If not for whatever is going on, I think this year was very intentional. I was even thinking about how I can go to Podfest Asia, create a bang so that
eh,
it become yeah, so that they know I'm serious. I get
okay.
myself somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay, so what you need to do, oh, you know what?
I'm trying to hobnob. I'm not. I'm
Look,
not trying to go the Paula way. You see, Paula is trying to get. Paula is